that. Okay. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing, testing. Sweet. Well, you know what? There's no better way to just jump in and do it, right? um, let's see here. Drop frames 40%. Video. Okay, I'm going to try stopping the stream once. Now I'm mostly just playing me again. And let's see what we get for drop frames now. Turn on some camera. Test, test, test. Well, we are going to go with it. Well, let's see if this works. I have no idea if this is going to work. I do apologize if if it doesn't, and I will proceed to continue to improve this if I can. Not sure live streaming will be my best option going forward. Hell, maybe I need to live stream through Zoom or something. I don't know. I'll figure out some options. Right now, I'm just streaming straight from OBS right to YouTube. So you will see first attempt at live stream. So I cover my mouth because I cough quite often and keeping the habit up. Just asthma cough, nothing serious. So why am I on the stream tonight? Well, we are in Minnesota, and apparently October means snow. So we are going to switch over to, if I can find the right screen here, right over to the nastiness that is the National Weather Service website. So they are predicting 1 to 3 inches for the Mankato area. This is for those who are following along. This particular forecast type stuff is for about a couple county area, Blue Earth County. I do not go any further than that because there's just too many counties. But I do like to deal a little bit more deep dive into what I am, the local area, and maybe you can try to use this for yourself. And I mean, honestly, it's kind of a crapshoot what I pick out for a total. Anyway, as of 4:29 today, they have 1 to 3 inches for the Mankato area. And for timeline, they are saying somewhere around 8 a.m. Tuesday, seven late 7 a.m. to early 8 a.m. The several county area around Blue Earth County should be somewhat of snowing. The further you go east, the later it is. So, let's jump over to the National Winter Weather Advisory. So this is for these. Let's see here. Wait a minute. These counties here. So you can, if you're in that county, this should apply to you. This winter weather advisory. Uh, this is as of 7:26 p.m. Things change, and if you watch this any amount, you'll see it up and downs and changes quite a bit. Let's zoom this in because it's probably kind of small. Here we go. So if you're in these counties, this particular winter weather advisory applies to you. Between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Tuesday, we should expect between 3 to 5 inches of snow in the I don't know 10 county area, whatever it is listed on there. However many, I didn't count them. Obviously, if you're from Minnesota, you should know there's gonna be slippery roads, and you got to drive safe, slow down, use caution. Should be standard of fare for most people who are native Minnesotans. And I just realized, here you go. Now you can see something. So that's your winter weather advisory. And I do always like to look at the hazardous weather outlook. It's a very valuable tool and kind of gives you a really quick snapshot of what is expected. And for this one, I'll just scroll up enough so you can see above my head. And there will be light snow affecting portions of it, affecting central Minnesota. Accumulations will range from trace to half an inch, mainly on grassy surfaces. Oh, 4:54 p.m. I will show you in a minute why the timing is important because I guarantee you this will change. Your winter weather advisory is going to be much more accurate at this particular point. So I do all my local National Weather Service, Minneapolis, St. Paul, our twin cities, has this winter weather page. I have a bookmarked for this exact reason because they summarize the kind of the impacts, and then they have these handy graphs. So they're showing in the more central portions of Minnesota, and the areas highlighted is actually what they cover for their coverage. So this is what they're forecasting on. They have the Mankato specifically at 3 inches, and then it looks like probably 2 inches in the more southern parts of Blue Earth County. This is going to change. I guarantee you it. Tomorrow morning, this will be different. Um, the probabilistic, I can't pronounce that word. So this is the same graph, and then on the high end at this particular time, again, oh, this is 2:51 p.m. So this is much earlier in the day. They had 10% chance of greater than 4 inches of snow, and guaranteed at least a dusting. And I'll show you why this is going to change here in a minute. So again, this is as of 2:50, about 3 o'clock. Let's move over to let's do GFS first. I should probably organize these before I jump in. So GFS is usually listed as one of the less accurate ones. They're good for getting an idea for long range forecasting, but they're not necessarily accurate for short term. So in here, they have, let's see if I can zoom in on that. I didn't think to zoom in before I started streaming, of course. They have 3.2 inches listed for Mankato area and showing us at the kind of the southern portion of the heavy snow. But I want to show you something, and I'm going to zoom back out to show you this. So I'm using the Kuchera. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right. The Kuchera ratio today versus the 10-to-1, which actually in this particular case is actually pretty close. 10-to-1 is assuming for every 10 or you'll get 10 inches of snow for every inch of rain. Actually, technically, it's a metric. I forgot I think they use centimeters. For every 10 centimeters of snow, it's 1 centimeter of rain, I believe is what the ratio actually is. But it's 10 to 1. It's approximate. Anyway, but the problem is, we're at higher temps. I haven't looked at the temperature forecast yet. But we're right at freezing or right below freezing. We're not talking 10 degrees. So your water or your snow is going to be much wetter. And suppose this is much more experimental, but this is supposed to be handling that situation. So that is why I'm using this model today rather than a lot of times I'll use a 10 to 1. I'll kind of compare the two. So what I want to show here is the last model or last couple models and just kind of show trends. So the GFS have been trending kind of in the same spot. And totals are, change here and there, but ultimately it's right around the same area. And I'm not going to go any further than that. But again, usually considered less accurate, and this is not the one I was really looking for at this particular time. The NAM, so this is much more accurate on shorter range and in the Kuchera model. And I'm using hour 36, so this is Wednesday. Actually, this is Wednesday at noon in this particular case. But I like to go the day beyond because this is total accumulation, which kind of gives you a good picture. I won't use this to look at the snow that's supposedly coming this next weekend because you're stacking on them. And anyway, I like to use this type of mode for my predictions. This is how it's worked for me. So the Kuchera model here, one thing I want to show here is that I believe this is the one that this is the one that was kind of weakening as it went older, and the more recent models are showing much stronger. It's the next model that I want to show. But so they're having 4.5 inches. And if you move the 10 to 1, it's 5.5. So they're between 4 and 5 is kind of where I will place the NAM model. And this was sitting basically at 3.6, 3 to 4. So then let's open up the Canadian model. Of course, now this isn't going to work, So the Canadian model has a kind of moving around, kind of your heavy. And I'm kind of looking at this purple area when I'm kind of browsing between these. And it kind of been jumping around over the last 48 hours. So, but the Canadian model kind of has it targeted here. Most of them have it kind of almost targeted more in the southern Minnesota streak. So that will factor into kind of where I'm going to go with my forecast. So the Kuchera model is showing us at almost 6, and the 10 to 1, which, like I said, I don't think it's going to be quite that much, is right around the 7.5. In fact, you have some 8s just north of there in the Nicollet, New Ulm area. So that will give you, that is this particular model, and this is the Canadian model. I have found in the last year, so I've been doing this, that these two especially really start to narrow in as we move forward. So the one last one I like to bring up is the European model, and in order to get access to that, I bring up Windy. Windy is another app that really simplifies things for your common person, so to speak, if you want to call it that. Windy also has access to the NAM model, the GFS, and the ECMWF, which is the European model. So this just gives that another factor in there, and European model is typically called being pretty good. So the next 24 hours will show that it's really just starting to get accumulations here. And they don't have all the easy breakouts. They have the next 3 days. So over the course of the next 3 days, it has us listed at about 5.3, and it's having us again right at that southern edge of that. So we're seeing about 3 to, I guess if you go up here, in the northern parts of like Nicola County, maybe even Cibola County, up to 7 inches there. So here's what I think is going to happen. Your I am suspecting something much more along the lines of this, where it's going to flow a little south. And this is not looking at all. When I do this, I don't look at the winds. I don't look at that. I strictly look at the models and just kind of get a feel for what they're all saying. Always look at the most recent models I can get access to, and then I make my prediction. So this is not anywhere near what a meteorologist and the accuracy that they can calculate. So European saying about 4, but I think it's going to slide south. And even if it just slides south by one county, we're talking 7 inches. Similar thing here. It doesn't have to move much for you to get 7 to 8 inches of snow. Same thing with this. If this slides down, we're easily talking 7 to 8 inches of snow again. And here again, GFS, I forgot which model, but one of them was bouncing around quite a bit between north and south. So I would not be. That's why I'm thinking I wouldn't be surprised if it swings more south. And so I am thinking, and I'm just pondering and trying to decide how tight of an area I want to make it. I think I want to keep it kind of loose this time, strictly because there's too many variables in this at this point yet. But I don't think the prediction of wherever my numbers are, I've lost my spot. Here we go. I think 3 is too low. I think that's our low end, but I don't think this is supposed to be kind of like a median area. I think that's too low. I'm really thinking on a high side, if you kind of use their models from here, and actually I'm thinking might be a little higher. I'm thinking anywhere from about 3 inches to on the probably extreme high side 7 inches, something in 3 to 7 inches in this area. I don't usually like to do wide swaths, but there's a lot of variables in here, and like I said, I haven't looked at the winds. I haven't looked at the systems that are floating out there. Those all obviously could impact the system and push it further south, make it go further north, and if you come out here as a non-meteorologist and even just look at these models, look at the most basic ones, snow totals, or the rain paths. There are other models out there like that as well. You'll see just how much they change from each run. So, and even, just showing you what I've shown you so far, you see from way back here, we're saying 1 to 3 inches, to where things are much more showing more likely to have 5 or more inches. So sometimes I'll pick just a single number. I feel pretty confident about it. This one I don't feel quite so confident about. So I'm going to say 3 to 7 inches in the Mankato area. That's my forecast. Hopefully this live stream actually worked. I forgot I was going to hit the record, see if I could record at the same time. So hopefully this does not fail. And yeah, let's see. Let's hope that let's not hope it worked. I get the prediction right, but let's just hope that I like to think that I'm pretty decent at this. So obviously ground is warm. We're not going to, anything we get isn't going to necessarily stay very long. I'm definitely not going to be cleaning up my driveway. Doesn't matter. I'll drive over it. It'll melt off anyway. So I'm not really worried about it sticking, but obviously there'll be accumulation on the roads, and especially if you get that much. I did look at it earlier today on radar. There was some pretty heavy snow. Let's see if I can bring that up here real quick again. Yeah, right here. So there are. This is the system that's coming our way, and there are some pretty heavy bands of snow, especially kind of where these lines are here. Normally, this is pretty heavy rain if it was actually rain. There's also some bands here. I'm not sure what's happening here. I haven't animated this recently, so let's animate this real quick. And I do 30 frames, so it takes just a few minutes for it to load up. But so this hole is collapsing, and it could be two systems merging in, possibly into one larger system. The pink here is what the radar thinks is freezing rain, and then the green is regular rain. So you'll see down the southern regions of this there is rain, and it's kind of floating between freezing rain and regular rain. And then there's a definite freezing layer where it's turning into all snow. So that will work its way across Montana and the Dakotas overnight, and should be hitting us early morning. I hope that gives you some idea of what's going on, and stay safe out there. First snowfall, you know darn well all of the crazies forget how to drive in the first snow of the year. So take it easy, take it safe. I know I got to go into the office myself this morning, so tomorrow morning. So I'll definitely be taking it a little bit safer as well. And then maybe take my daughter who's learning how to drive out in the snow and hopefully find some snow yet a little bit later in the afternoon and have her do some donuts or something to just kind of refresh herself into that whole mode because she'll be getting a license soon. Scary. So thank you for listening and watching along and hoping this works. And I will talk to you whatever the next time is. Thanks for listening.